Welcome back to another one, people. It's another episode. It's another joyous occasion where I get to record in the morning. We do love that morning. We do love that recording. We do love these videos. So I hope everybody's happy as we start this one off. You know what we're doing. I know what we're doing. It's almost the end. It's this is probably the last or the second to last episode of the playthrough. I got about 50 minutes of footage to skim through, and some of it is indeed the credits. And then I have just one more video that I recorded of the after version 1 stuff. You know, we do have a couple things to just pick up, a couple of progression keys that you must do right when you finish version 1 that I want to go over. So I might split this up into 2 videos and then get that last half of stuff we're supposed to do on the second half of that. But guys, we've made it. We've made it. You know, this journey has been great. These past couple months, I have enjoyed myself. I hope you've enjoyed yourself. We've gone through the holidays and finished version 1. I didn't expect it to take this long. But I also didn't expect it to be very short, if you know what I mean. Like I knew it was gonna take like at least a couple of months, but to be honest, I actually figured I'd be done by December. And I've upped my video pace by a lot. Well, not I guess not by that much. I've just started uploading more shorts, but you know, at least one interaction with the channel a day has brought me here, and I believe I'm gonna continue this. I believe I'm not gonna be a New Year's gooner and be like, I gotta set a resolution, I gotta upload more videos. No, we're gonna play this like an actual stable, logical adult, and I will upgrade videos when I'm damn well ready. And by damn well ready, I mean I want to have at least 2 months in advance scheduled and uploaded before I start doing one short and one episode a day. But that's my next upgrade. And then my next upgrade after that is going to be 2 shorts a day, 1 video a day. And then I'll do 2 videos a day, 2 shorts a day. But yeah, first I need to just get the backlog up. I remember I was like back in December 18th, I had up to like January 7th available. So, as you can see, I am working towards that full month ahead time schedule, but we just have to work harder towards it. And I did take a break for good old Christmas, as we all should. I feel like whatever you're doing in life, if you don't take a small, short respite during the holidays or during winter in general, you're doing it wrong. The school system taught us a lot of bullshit, guys. It taught us a lot of dumb bullshit. But the winter break is something we should actually hold on to from our childhoods. I think hibernation is something that a lot of animals do just naturally. It is very necessary for growth. And here I am just searching through and looking for my bells. I know I have treasure land bells. There they are. And I'm trying to use one so I can get some treasure. And now I have the hiccups. Oh, fuck. This is going to be a fun episode. So that I'm not annoying you guys this entire time with my hiccups, we go ahead and pause the recording and we will be right back. Okay. Oh my goodness. So fucking annoying. Okay. Oh my goodness. I can't even say okay. Okay. Oh my goodness. I'm sorry for that brief pause. Sorry for that brief pause. We're back. I've gotten rid of my hiccups. Hopefully they won't come back, but I'm guessing they will. And if they do, I'll just pause it again. But I am not going to stop. I will get this recording done this morning. I have relentless energy, and I'm not going to give up the fight. Not going to give up the fight. Um, So with that being said, I'll go ahead and get into today's topics here. I know I just started rambling on about platitudes and being thankful that this playthrough is reaching its first milestone. But we are talking about things today. While we explore this dungeon, I want to go over the rest of the shit test that I was doing. And we're going to talk about, oh, what are we going to talk about today? Well, I have no idea. What could it possibly be? It's about love, it's about relationships. It's about my main philosophy with relationships and loneliness and being okay with your own self, you know. So I have a little bit of a rant on that we'll get into um eventually here, but I just have a few more shit tests to go over and how to pass them. um Let me know if you like this shit test content. I do have a couple of other videos. So um I have recently decided to get into reaction content, so I've been watching a lot to do research on, what works, what really doesn't. And one reason I really didn't want to start doing reaction content was one, because, well, I didn't watch it. I didn't really enjoy watching it. I didn't really see what value it added to anything, and it just seemed like very, very basic, low effort work that I didn't really see the value in or the merit in doing. Um, and I just didn't want to support it. So that was my philosophy before. And now I see intrinsically people don't really watch reaction content for the videos. They watch it for the personality and the additional knowledge that people can bestow upon you. And the additional personality effects that they can add to the video. And it just makes sometimes it can make a video you've already seen more interesting. It can make a video you haven't seen have more value. And I do enjoy watching it. It's kind of funny. It's the same thing as me watching like female streamers or videos. I didn't really see the value in it until the anime characters came through, and now I even watch real females in videos. I mean, and it's not like I didn't watch videos hosted by girls where girls talked before or anything like that. It's not like to that extreme of a level, but I'm just noticing myself evolve in the content I watch and the content I consume. And I'm not necessarily viewing that as a bad thing. I think it's good that we're all evolving and we're all watching different things and we're all noticing how our content consumption has changed. So yeah, guys, we all do change in life, at least the things we consume. So I would take note of it, use it to your advantage. I don't know anybody who just, watches cartoons for their whole life. We all change in the things we watch. So, in that respect, I feel like it's not too weird to assume that some people will change their behaviors as well. I mean, if we're gonna change what we consume, we might as well change how we act as well. I don't know why that's such um a taboo or a faux pas to have a different outlook on life, a different perspective after you've experienced something. You notice this a lot when you are the lone warrior who ventured outside of your hometown, and you come back to people who haven't ventured outside of their hometown, who have like wife and kids now. Um, you notice that a lot. That maybe the stuff they consumed changed, but they are still the same on the inside. But I think both my behaviors and my content consumption has definitely altered, which is pretty cool. I like to take note of that and see where I can utilize it for my own benefit. So we're going back into shit test. This is my dungeon talk, I suppose, for this round. The shit test that I want to start off with here is when a girl says, "You seem like a player," or like one of those like, "Oh, you do this with all the girls" kind of thing, or like, "Yeah, you're just being your natural Casanova stuff," or if she makes one of those jokes. Um, This is a shit test. This is a shit test because she wants you to interact in a way that's very beta and being like only for her or whatever. And if that's the way you react, then you did not pass the shit test. Pass the shit test, you just have to play it cool. You just have to be like, oh yeah, I'm glad I seem that way to you. That just means my charismaticness is off the charts. So I'm glad you portray me as someone who gets a lot of ladies. My hypergamy instincts are rising for you. Okay, so I wouldn't say all that, but I would say something like she's like, you seem like a player. He's like, well, don't hate the player, hate the game, or something like that. It's just something witty and funny. Just play it cool. Don't take it too seriously because she's obviously not inspecting every aspect of you and going at your ass like Sherlock Holmes to investigative journalism to see. It's just a casual observation, and you have to treat it as such. You can't, get defensive about something like that because it's not inherently a bad thing. What you're going to notice a lot of times in life is that positive people don't just have positive things thrown at them all the time. They'll get things thrown at them and they'll turn it into positives just because of the people they are. Um, for example, if somebody says, nice shirt, to a positive guy, he'll probably just say, thanks. As he say to a negative guy, he's like, well, I mean, it's all I had in the closet. I mean, I don't know. I guess I just decided to wear it because it was clean and I didn't really have any laundry. And so I guess if you like it, it's cool. But, it's just something I had or whatever. So you have to just think to be that positive person, it all starts in the mind. To be that shit test passer, it all starts in the mind. So you have to train your brain and train your reactions to just morph into that. And it's going to seem very disingenuous. It's going to seem very inauthentic at first, and it always will. But eventually you'll just smooth into it. You'll fall into the line. Oh, it's 8 o'clock. My alarm went off. Eventually you will fall into line and it'll feel like a second breath, like like air. I just breathe positivity. I can't do anything else. It's just literally out of my nature to do anything else. um and we can all change into that. It all just takes just one step at a time, one day at a time, just one step toward it. You can't miss a day, and if you miss a day, make up for it. Make up for it. It's easy to do. Just make up for it with yourself. Okay, so another thing here, if you guys make a date and she shows up late, that is not a shit test. That is just straight up disrespect. I don't care who it is. I don't care who it is. If we make a date together and if you're like more than like 15 minutes late with no like warning, forewarning, I'm over here texting you when it's like 30 minutes after. I'm like, "Hey, where you at?" And what's going on? That is not a shit test to see, "Oh, is he going to text me? Is he going to, beg me to come hang out with him?" That's not a shit test. If they're already on that level with you that they can disrespect you that much by making you show up to a place and waste your gas money, waste your time, which is even more precious than money. I'm honestly gonna just be real with you guys. You just might want to cut them off. I don't care how long you've known them. I don't care how good of a friend they are, or at least not, engage in making plans to go hang out with them. Of course, they can make plans to come hang out with you. I wouldn't say, completely excommunicate these people, especially if they're in a group with you. But just don't prioritize them anymore. Get them off your priority list. And if it was me, I would cut them off. I would cut them off because I'm not ready or willing anymore to tolerate that kind of disrespect. It's just gonna waste my time, and I'm finished wasting the other people's time, and I'm definitely finished wasting my own time. I've done enough of that in life. Um, and I'm ready to make a change. I'm ready to put my stamp on this world, my stamp of approval, to say yes, this is what I want. This is what I need from life. I'm ready to put that stamp out there. So I can't tolerate disrespect like that. I don't think anybody else should. Of course, if they're like 10 to 15 minutes late and they texted you right at the time, be like, "Hey, I'm gonna be late. I'm sorry." That's completely different. I'm talking like an hour, 2 hours, and there's like no calls unless you call them first, and they're like, "Yeah, I'm gonna be there," or whatever, blah blah blah. That's just pure disrespect. They don't respect your time. Um, and you just gotta flip it around. Like, imagine if that was you in that situation. If you would feel bad, and if you would be like, I would be texting them, I'd be doing this, I'd be doing that, blah 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 blah. If you were in that situation, then just think about a actual relationship with this person. Imagine how that's gonna work. And once you pull all that shit apart, you're gonna be like, well, maybe I don't need this. Maybe I don't need this. Maybe this is like an unnecessary part of my life. Another thing is it's not a shit test here as well. I'll go ahead and get into this. When she talks to you about another guy. Okay, so when she's talking to you about another guy, um, first of all, don't get jealous. Never get jealous. Jealousy is a very weak trait. Um, it's gonna cut you off from a lot of blessings, that jealousy. Because honestly, most times it's not that deep. What you have to realize with jealousy is that in this moment, it is your turn. In this moment, they are there for you. Um, and that's really all that matters. That is really, I'm completely honest with you guys, 110. That's really all that matters. They're there in your presence, spending time with you, focusing on you in that moment. And if you're over here concerned, what are they doing when I'm not here? How are they treating when I'm texting them? Blah 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 blah. They're not for you. They're obviously not for you. If you have to have that on your mind when they're not in your vicinity, and if you have that in your mind at all while they are in your vicinity, then they're definitely not for you. But while they're there, you shouldn't be jealous. And while they're gone, you just have to trust. You just have to trust. Trust will beat jealousy in any battle. You just have to work that trust muscle. A lot of people haven't worked their trust muscle. They've only worked their jealousy muscle. And the funny thing about trust is that you have to build it. Jealousy is just always there. You don't have to build jealousy. But a lot of people will build it anyways, just because it's an emotion they constantly go back to. So, because we have to build trust, we have to be more diligent in our trust muscle so that we can build it more easily. So how to build this trust muscle is to build it with the only person that you can 100% trust all the time. You got to build it with yourself. And how do you build this trust muscle with yourself? Well, it's a little bit similar to how you build confidence in yourself. You have to build this relationship with your own mind and your own body. Um, that you will accomplish things, you will do things, and trust yourself to get them done. Or you have to trust yourself to not fall on your temptations, not fall on your swords, if you will. And this self-trust will bring you more confidence and the ability to trust other people with different tasks, as far as that goes, like, a task of not cheating, for example, a task of locking the door when they leave the house, the task of making me a smoothie when I ask you to. These are all easy things to do. These are all easy things to worry about too much when we ask people to do them. But if you build this trust muscle with yourself, you're going to treat everybody as yourself, as you want to be treated. So if you trust yourself, it's going to be very easy to trust other people if they give you evidence that they are to be trusted. And that was my little trust rant. I hope you enjoyed. That's my way. I feel that if you have problems with infidelity, or you have problems with other girls talking to you about other guys, and you're like, oh no, what's the status of our relationship? She talking to about other guys about me? You can't worry about that bullshit. That's got to be way far away from your mind. And anything on your mind has to be towards your goals, towards your prospects, and that should only be like two or three things. So For a guy, we should only have like two or three things on the mind at all times. It should be a very, very clear mind besides these two or three things. And maybe you are lonely and you're doing good in your career and everything else in life, and one of those things is girls. So I understand if, you're worried about her cheating because one of the things in your mind is locking down a girl, locking down a wife, whatever kind of girl you want. I just wouldn't focus on it too much because that's the trick with girls. The problem is, and I think I've talked about this before. The problem is that they don't want to be your world. They want to be a part of your world. So I'd say if that is your focus, is trying to find a wife, trying to find a girl, definitely make sure your other two focuses are pretty large because girls really don't like it. You're going to be very pliable to be cheated on if you make her your world, which is very sad. Which is just very sad in the modern world, but that's just how it is. When you make them your world, you give them too much of what they want, and then the relationship isn't exciting, and then they'll go find something that is. It just takes enough time. Now, if you find the right girl, of course, that's not going to happen. But most Western women, they love the excitement. Most women in general love the excitement. Let's not get that twisted. Most girls, they're here for the excitement. They're here for the bullshit. And they want to be led through it. And if you're just leading them to boredom, they're not gonna like your leadership skills. They're gonna be like, well, this is boring. I want a different leader. This is a boring lead. So yeah. Um, when she talks to you about another guy, I'm gonna go back to this. That is disrespect. I would cut off. I wouldn't engage with that. That's just something that you really don't need in your life, as well as the late stuff. But yeah, this is something that I actually don't experience too much, but I've been told about this, and uh, I suppose I've experienced it a little. I don't really cold approach. As I've said, I'm in my ghost zone. I'm married to the game, so I can't really spend my time looking for some cheeks, especially when I don't think any girl can commit to me now. I'm very broke. I'm very broke. And broke doesn't make love happen. It'll make love for like maybe a couple weeks, maybe a couple years. But if I want someone to grow old with so they don't die alone, now is not the time to start looking. The time to start looking is when I'm actually established. When I'm actually doing something that I want to do for the rest of my life, and I'm not yet. I'm not yet, and I don't know when I will be. But this is a step towards that effort to find a job, an application that I can do for the rest of my life happily. And well, I could definitely play this game for the rest of my life happily. That would be super easy. Of course, it's gonna be very hard to once I finish version 1 through 6 on these two characters, which is probably gonna happen 2026. 2026 or 2027 by the pace I'm going here, because it took me like what 3 months for version 1, because I started in October. 4 months. 4 months for version 1. So if I'm going 4 months, 4 months per version, and there's 6 versions. Damn, I'm about to be 2027 actually. Yeah, yeah, about 2027. But nevertheless, and maybe it'll be more versions by then. Maybe it'll be released out in the West by then. That would be pretty crazy, right? And then I'll have to do it all over again. Oh, that would be amazing. So we'll see if I can keep playing this for the rest of my life. We'll see. We'll see. The next shit test. Oh, don't we love this one? The gradually walking away mid cold approach. That's what I was about to do. That's what I was about to do. I don't really do cold approaches. I have seen when people walk away while I'm talking to them. It's not during a cold approach, but just when people need to go places. A lot of times when I'm working, a lot of people will just walk away while I'm talking to them, and it's fine. I don't really care. Most times that's actually what I want. But if you are cold approaching a girl and you notice her Like she's busy and like she's I got something to do, blah 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 blah. And she starts walking away from you. What you don't want to do, a very thing to not do, is not follow her. Don't follow her. She's got things to do. Let her do her thing. What you want to do is stand your ground, but keep talking. Because you notice she's talking to you, but she's walking away at the same time. If you just keep talking and stand your ground and maybe even say some interesting things, what she's gonna do is she's gonna double back, turn around, and keep talking to you. And this is the craziest thing. All you have to do is just stand exactly where you are. And if you are attractive to her, if you are an acceptable mate, if she's someone she actually wants to hold a conversation with, she will. She will. No place is so important that a girl will pass up a potential dick opportunity. I promise you. If it's something she wants, she's going to stay there for it. And she's going to be late for whatever the fuck she's doing. Right? Just because that's the way females are. They're hypergamous. So basically, when you go and talk to a girl out in real life, that is like a girl opening a loot box. The girl's opening that loot box, and she's like, oh shit, she's getting that dopamine. She's like, oh my god, what's going on? What's going on? Oh my god, what am I gonna get? And she's figuring it out. So when you get into that kind of anxiety feeling, if that loot box starts following you around the room to the bathroom, you know what I'm saying, and that loot box is begging you to give them their number, you're like, well, I hate this loot box. But if that loot box is just standing there over here on the sorry I had to do it to him pose, you know what I'm saying, that loot box is just chilling, they're going to be more pliable to stand there and see what the loot box is cooking. Because it's like, why is this loot box just standing here? What is going on? Got questions. You know what I'm saying? Like, is there nothing important to this loot box? Is there something good about this spot? Like, what the fuck is... You would be confused. You would be confused. Especially when most loot boxes follow you around like a damn... Like a damn gnat housefly or something. So we made it to Nurgle. Our other half protected us. The guy that we possessed for a while is helping us out and destroying Nurgle's powers. We talked to him at the beginning of the dungeon. I didn't put it in this episode. I put it in the last one at the end. But he tells us, hey, be careful, because this guy's going to do that magic that's going to put you all in the chains and shit. And he did. And then he got us. Don't worry. So we're now repellent to that. We're going to fight Nurgle. He's pretty easy. But nevertheless, this is our final battle of the first version. He deserves everything he's got coming to him. And we'll go back to the shit test. When she does, this is going to be a striking a nerve with a lot of people. This is a little salt in the wound here. I feel like, if anybody's heard this recently, when she says, "You're not my type," yikes, damn son, where'd you find this? Yeah, when she says, "You're not my type," guys, the first thing we need to do when we hear this is relax. A lot of people, when they hear this, they go into fight or flight mode. They're like, "What the fuck? I'm not your type," or they go into flight like, "Oh, well, I guess I'll just leave." But no, you just relax in your body, realize who you are, and give a natural response of like, "Oh, well, that's cool. I don't mind that. I know who I am." And not for everybody. Different strokes for different folks is one that I tend to love to use. But let it roll off your back. Don't take that shit to the chest and take it through your heart like a damn Cupid's arrow. Like Sora in Kingdom Hearts. Don't do that. Don't do that. You just gotta relax. You have to take it with a grain of salt, because you know who you are, and you know that there are plenty of girls out there who would beg to salivate over your droppings. That was gross. I'm sorry. But yeah, you have to know who you are. So another shit test. Actually, this is not a shit test, and if you think this is a shit test, then I want to go ahead and put a public service announcement out that this is definitely 110% not a shit test. So stop treating it like one and just treat it like it is. It is pure disrespect. When a girl says a real man would blank 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 blank, and insert task that she wants you to do. This is not a shit test. This is not a shit test. You would think, oh, to pass this test, I just do what she says the real man would do, right? No, no, unwise, unwise. And I'll tell you why that is unwise. The reason why that's unwise is that because it sets a precedent that you can be manipulated just by your masculinity levels. Just by not having enough hair under your chest, you can be manipulated, and then they will use that. Oh, guaranteed they will use that. And basically hold it over your head and manipulate you into being a slave to your manhood. And I know a lot of us, we are slaves to our manhood. You know what I'm saying? We engage in the corn too much. We may have hypersexual tensions with females where oh my goodness, I'm talking to a girl, I gotta fuck her, all this shit. We are kind of slaves to our manhood, right? But we can't let them know that. We can't let them hold that power over us, or you are actually going to be a slave. And I don't think we actually want to be like real live slaves. Like a slave to your manhood is all a mental thing, right? And to be a mental slave is one thing, but to be a physical slave, I feel like bringing that shit into the real life can make things a little bit worse. A little bit worse. A little bit worse. But you tell me, guys, what do you think is a worse slave? A mental slave or a physical slave? Because they're both pretty bad. I just don't think you should have both at the same time, which you would be having. You went ahead and introduced a little bit of the oh, I'm a real man, so I have to do that for her magic, you know? It's just not worth it. It's just not worth it. You can't set up that precedent because that will definitely be a slippery slope. And then the next thing you know, you're paying for a timeshare for her and her girlfriends to go and hang out in Puerto Rico while you're over here working Christmas Day, over at the office. Over here slaving away so like you can take care of the kids. And okay, let me stop. Anyways, the next shit test is I have a boyfriend. This is actually a shit test. A lot of people will take this comment and be like, well, I'm done. See you later. Oh, game's over, boys. All right, so we'll get him next time. Mission failed. We'll get him next time. No. Nigga, no. No. It's not. And I know it's disgusting. I thought it was disgusting the first time I heard this. I was like, no, what? When they have a boyfriend, you have to be respectful of the other guy, right? A lot of times, guys, um, it's not it's not really a valuable relationship. A lot of times it's not really a relationship that they value. And it's just their turn. You know what I'm saying? We live in the Western world, so dating is so different now. So different now. Nobody really commits. Nobody really commits. People commit for like 4 years, but you'll know if you meet the committing type. If you meet the committing type, they'll say like, "I have a husband," or something like that. And if that's the case, then you really want to, then you really want to dip out. When she says, "I have a husband," then okay, I will accept you, waving the white flag on that fact. But if she says, "I have a boyfriend," I'm sorry, dog. If you stand your ground, you probably like 100% success rate with that shit. You know what I'm saying? Because one, she could just be lying about her boyfriend. A lot of girls do that. So many girls do that. I've been out with girls, and one guy hits on her, and she's like, "This guy's disgusting. I'm just gonna tell him I have a boyfriend." And she does it. I'm like, are you dating? You're not dating? He's like, "No, no, I'm not." Well, okay, no. I mean, it happens way more often than you think. So when they say this, what you want to do is you want to see if you can vault the obstacle. And you just got to do this by playing it cool, basically. You have to relax into the flow. I know a lot of this is just going to be like relaxing, playing it cool, yada, yada, yada. But girls can see when you have that anxious, trying to fight the good fights and impress and all this bullshit. You just have to naturally hang into whatever pocket you fit into. All guys fit into a different Riz pocket. And maybe I'll do a video on different Riz pockets as well. But you got to find whatever Riz pocket you fit into and just sit in that pocket for a little bit around her. See if this is working to this boyfriend girl. And if it's working, shoot your shot. Shoot your shot anyways. I don't care if she has a boyfriend. Be like, well, blah, 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 wrist pocket, wrist pocket. I'm a funny guy. I got this money. I have a super cool car. You want to come home, play video games? We could go to the foosball. Whatever you want, whatever your Riz is. Whatever your Riz is, go ahead and throw that out there, right? And then shoot your shot at the end. Anyways, it doesn't matter. Because a lot of times, if you make them laugh maybe once or twice, they're gonna be like, I have a boyfriend, but I'll take your number down. Because these witches are for the streets, bro. They're for the streets. I'm sorry. I'm sorry to call you a bitch if you're watching this. But why are you watching this? This is Dragon Quest. This is Japanese video. You don't care about this woman. Woman? Okay, I'm just kidding. Any gender can watch this. I'm trying to be inclusionary. Let me stop. We've also killed Nurgle, and he's very mad. And he exploded. That is wonderful. We're almost done with the chit test too. This is the last one. The last shit test is when you set up a date for a girl, and it's like, let's say it's been like 1 or 2 days since you've texted her, and it's the day of the date, maybe a couple hours before, and she hasn't texted you, radio silence here or whatever, blah, 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 right? Not texting before the date is indeed a shit test. Because most girls will do it. Most girls will text you just because, if you think about it, as a girl, you are the weaker sex. You don't want to just go out somewhere and by yourself and had not have someone there to basically protect you, see you through it, yada yada yada. You don't want to do that. So a lot of these times, girls will text you before the date just to see if you're gonna be there, yada yada. But if they don't, this is a shit test. This is not your signal to text her before the date and tell her, oh yeah, I just wanted to make sure we're all good, blah, 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 unless you have something important to say or something important to set up or a surprise to, give her. Even if you have surprise, I'd probably say don't text her. Anyways, the end goal of this rant is just to say, don't text her before the date if she doesn't text you. Just show up. Just fucking show up. And the reason why I say this is because when you text her that confirmation text, being like, hey, are we still gonna be here, blah, 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 yada, 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 you still want to do this thing today because we haven't talked in a while, yada, or whatever you want to say. That puts you in the feminine position, and girls probably won't even intellectualize it. They'll just fucking see it. They'll just fucking feel it and be like, it's kind of bitch made, and it won't even be like uh like a deep thing that they'll really like think about during the date. But it'll just sit with them. If you have a long relationship with them, and this continues, they're going to slowly but surely lose respect for you. And what happens when a woman loses respect for you? She becomes attracted to those chads, those loot boxes that she sees in the wild. You know what I'm saying? She'll see a loot box and she'll be like, let's open this. I got a boyfriend. I don't respect that nigga though. So let me just open this one, see if it's better. Let me just see if it's better. Because if it's better, you know what I'm saying? Like, I might do a little song with this bitch. Man, come on now. So you just have to be confident in yourself. And if she stands you up, she stands you up, bro. Like, it is what it is. I was gonna waste gas anyways. So I'll just go home and masturbate. It's okay. I don't need that pussy tonight. It's all good. It's all good. But you gotta get out of your weakened state. Woe is me. I gotta know if she's gonna be here because I want it so bad. I want it so bad. Detach, nigga. You don't need it. You gotta be like SpongeBob at Sandy Cheek's house. You gotta be like, I don't know how I have this much energy in the morning. It's like 8:30, dog. But we're almost done with this shit. How much more? Yeah, we got a little bit more time left. I might just go to the credits and then call it there. I don't know how much more talking shit I got. I do have this other rant too about relationships and being lonely and stuff. So I guess I could go a little into that while Chrono is falling back to Astoltia, our little flying bird thing here. So guys, I'll go back to what I was saying about the respect and the relationship. In my philosophy, and it's great that I've worked this hard to become the JRPG guy. I like how I say work this hard. It's all natural, you know what I'm saying? It's cool when your life sort of naturally flows in progression and you realize everything you're doing has been working towards what you want to do. Doesn't always happen though. So I've worked all this years to become the JRPG guy, and I'm going to combine I am going to combine my JRPG efforts with my advice, my philosophy efforts, and become like a JRPG guru of some sorts. But through this, I was just thinking, right? I was thinking about love. I was thinking about relationships because that's what I tend to think about a lot. It's not what I'm focusing on in life. As I've said a lot of times before, I'm going ghost. I'm working on myself. I'm working on my body, my mind, my spirit, and I'm giving this audio journal thing a try while I just play more JRPGs in the background. But just observing myself, I've realized that my philosophy on dating is kind of like my philosophy for video games and how the mechanics of turn-based games work. You know what I mean? So I'll get into that. Basically, this is the turn-based relationships rant that we're gonna have right here at the credits. It's gonna be beautiful. So my thoughts, right? Every relationship is turn based. And I'm not talking romantic. I'm not talking, friends only. I'm talking every time you talk to someone. It's turn based. It's turn based. What you're gonna do, you take your turn, they take their turn, right? And then when you get into a relationship with someone, it is indeed your turn with them. But a lot of people don't realize because it is turn based, right? Because every relationship, um, it goes back and then forth and the back and the forth, and usually people can't take double turns. People can't just begin the back and forth, the back and forth, because that's still one turn for them. That's still all one turn. If they keep going back, 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 and you're not responding, they're still taking their turn. So some people can have long turns, but I've noticed just through my life, and this may be like comes like a duh, obviously. Um, what happens in a turn-based game when you don't take your turn? What happens? Can anybody raise their hand and tell me what happens? Let's go to a different game. Persona. What happens when you don't take your turn? Nothing. The game pauses. And then also in this game, it doesn't really pause the game when you don't take your turn, but when you don't take your turn, it'll give you more time to take your turn next turn. You know what I'm saying? In Dragon Quest X. So it's kind of like the same philosophy, but what I've worried about a lot in life is just what happens if I just cut off and be myself and not talk to anybody, because what I've slowly realized, I realized this in about like 2020 2019 when we were doing the whole COVID thing. um I don't really derive a lot of pleasure from talking to people, from having relationships, from discussing things, from coming to a consensus. I realize I can do a lot of that on my own. I do a lot of that on my own. My head is a very filled space. I got a lot of different characters and personifications I have in there, so I'm never lonely. And I watch a lot of YouTube, so I feel like I'm talking to people without even talking to people. So all those factors combined make it so that I am a lone person who is definitely not lonely. And so then I realized, well, why do I talk to people? Why do I engage? Because I wasn't looking for a girlfriend at this time. I wasn't looking for a wife at this time. I'm still not. Um, I know that is the next thing I will look for. But right now, in this moment, I'm not looking for that. And before, I didn't even know that was the next thing I was gonna look for. I just didn't. I just knew I wasn't looking for that. Right? I wasn't looking for new friends. I felt like I had already had enough friends. In my family, I just know how they interact, so I wasn't learning anything new from interacting with them. So I thought, like, why do I interact with people then? And then I realized it was all for them. It wasn't for me at all. It wasn't for me at all. I realized I was taking these turns and I was doing these things. I was playing the game as if I wasn't a player. I was playing the game as if I had no stake in it. As if I had no choice but to be here. It's basically like Persona 3 with no dialogue options. Like I was just going through the motions and saying what I thought other people wanted to hear. I wasn't speaking from my own natural voice. I wasn't giving my own natural opinion. I was just flowing the conversation along in the easiest way possible. So I was like, we got to make a change. We got to make a change. And that change for me is the cutoff. Is good old Edmund, I might do a remix of that song. That's a good J. Cole song. Um, and I guess I could end off with a couple music chats after this, but yeah, I figured out that was my move. I know it's not everyone's solution for this, but if you find yourself lost and not having your own personality, your own inner voice, you have to delve deep into the caves to find it. Nobody's gonna take you out and be like, find it for you. You're like, that's your job, dude. It's your voice. It's your voice. So, I mean, like, it's gonna be hard to basically cut everybody in your life off, but it doesn't have to be this whole huge event, this whole huge, embellishment of lights and shows and fixtures and shit. You just have to basically do it. You have to make a choice in yourself one day and just be like, well, I'm not responding. If I do respond, it's because I want to. If I don't respond, it's because I didn't want to. And you just have to accept yourself for that. You just have to accept yourself for everything that comes with that, and find yourself in your own wants and needs. I'm not saying it's not going to be difficult. I'm still lost. I'm not saying I've been found or anything. We just finished version 1. How would I be found, guys? We got 5 more versions. We got 5 more versions. I hope I don't sound like a recovered individual. I know I don't. I know I don't. I don't have to hope that. But yeah, I will only get better. I will only get better. And you have to keep deluding yourself and keep telling yourself that. Because if you keep deluding yourself, eventually the delusion becomes reality. Anything we do for a long amount of time will become reality. Anything. Anything. And people will say, oh, you can be anything you want in life. Yes, with the work. With the work. So I want to become someone that I'm proud of. I want to become someone who lives a life that they are happy to live. And that takes a step every day towards it, and then I want to become a better communicator. I want to become a yapping extraordinaire. I want to have a podcast that people tune into because they value the things that I say and the knowledge I have to bestow on people. Once again, that comes every day. You got to go in the gym. You got to get in the lab. You got to get in your DAW. You have to do it every day. And I truly believe now in my later years in life, yeah, anything is possible. Like literally anything. You can do it if you do it every day. Because I'm seeing bad people, I'm seeing good people, I'm seeing somewhere in the middle people get everything they want. And all they're doing is just taking a step towards it every day. It's not complicated, it's not hard. It's not some secret magic voodoo that, they're going to teach you in the Buddhist temple. It's none of that, I'm seeing it. I'm witnessing it with my own eyes. In life and on the internet. So I know it's possible for you and I know it's possible for me. So I hope you're excited to be along with me for this journey. These next couple years will be very interesting, I imagine. Very, very interesting. Who knows how they're going to go? If you want to see how they're going to go, you can hang out on this channel. I'll be here. I'm pretty fun to hang out with, I've been told. I've been told. If anybody's been told that in life that they're fun to hang out with, hold on to yourself. Hold on to yourself. And if people are valuing your time like that, you have to yourself value your time. So if people are telling you you're fun to hang out with, and you're just throwing that, slinging that dick around to everybody, slinging that hangout juice around to everybody, people are eventually going to devalue your time, and that should never happen because you are you. You know your time is worth it. So don't ever let anyone devalue your time, devalue your shine. And I will see you guys next time. This has been Dragon Quest version 1, baby. See me for version 2. What the fuck is up, yo? What the fuck?